In 2023, one of my favorite videos that I made was my concerts wrapped video, and I was excited to make my 2025 one, and then I looked and I never filmed a 2024 one, but I can film it today. So this is for 2024, and then we'll make another one for 2025. In 2024, the first concert that I went to was Cold War Kids at the Fonda Theater in Hollywood. Cold War Kids have been at the very top of my concert wish list for 10 plus years now. I absolutely fell in love with them after First was absolutely everywhere. When I was in high school, I went back and listened to the rest of their catalog, and I just loved how different their sound was. Particularly the lead singer's voice just sounds so different from anyone I had ever heard, and so he's been on the wish list for a very long time. I'd never been to this venue before. It was really cool. I still haven't gotten to go back yet, but I look forward to it. They had a really great like outdoor space, and there was a floor that was gin admission, and then I think the upstairs was gin admission as well. My favorite song of theirs is We Used to Vacation, and I was nervous that they were gonna do an acoustic version because it started out with the lead singer by himself on stage on the piano, and he sounded great, but I was just a little nervous because it has such a great kick to it. And then eventually the whole band came out, and it was so cool. I don't know if this will make sense. I can't listen to Cold War Kids every day. Sometimes I get annoyed by the particular tone of the lead singer, but other times I'm so intrigued by how unique his voice sounds and how he's able to modify that on stage, whether he's like belting or yelling even. And I just really thought that his voice live was like, oh, this is the way that you're supposed to hear this. A little while later, I saw Noah Kahan on his Styx season tour, which was still going. I had seen him the previous year at Red Rocks, and this summer he was at, I don't even know what it's called at this point. I think it's the Ruoff Music Center in Noblesville, Indiana. When I was growing up, it was the Verizon Music Center. I know before that it was called Deer Creek. I think you kind of call it whatever you know it as first. So I went to the Verizon Music Center in Indiana, went with my dad and my sister. This is, again, the second time that I'd seen this tour. The third time I had seen him live, and he's just wonderful. I'm just so like parasocially proud of him and excited to see where his career goes post Styx season. I hope that he gets his rest in afterwards, because this tour just seems like it has been going on for absolutely ever. I usually really like this concert venue, but they even announced that this is like by far the worst they had ever oversold a concert before. We were standing like this up against the very back wall of the venue, and I mean, he still played absolutely amazing in the space, and that outdoor venue I think just suits him so well. But it was one of the most like crowded concerts that I've ever been to. He did make a comment about the last time he was in Indianapolis, he was playing in a basement with like 100 people, and I was at that show, and so I screamed my head off because he was just talking about how crazy the jump from like the last tour he was on to this tour and how many people were shoved into that space. And it just made me a little extra proud that he remembered to say something about that show. Next, again, on my birthday, again, 2 years in a row, again, I got to go see Mount Joy at the Hollywood Bowl with my mom. Again, this is the second year in a row that they have come to LA on my birthday. And so it's just become a special little tradition. Unfortunately, they were not in 2025. But it just was such a nice way to celebrate and do something fun. Mountjoy is so playful when they get on stage. They really just seem to like vibe off of each other. I don't know how like set their playlists are or anything. Their visuals are always incredible. As I think I've talked about before, the Hollywood Bowl is not one of my favorite venues in LA. It's actually one of my least favorites. It's just kind of hard to get to. There are bad seats, but also like people just don't really seem to enjoy being there. Most people don't stand up. It was pretty enjoyable for Mountjoy, I will say, but I've been to some incredible shows where nobody stood up and it has just confused me endlessly. But the weather was perfect, and so it ended up being an absolutely wonderful birthday, and I'm always excited to get to see Mountjoy again. TV on and I'm good, feels better than I'm hanging on when I need time. Then I went to go see Gracie Abrams for the first time at the Greek. This show in particular feels like it was absolutely ages ago because this was right before she opened for Taylor on the Eras Tour. And so even though she was popular, she hadn't quite completely blown up yet. I absolutely loved the Secret of Us album. Loved it so much. Still, it came out 2 years ago and it is still one that I constantly put on. I did love some of her older songs, but this is really the album that got me into her. And she was phenomenal live. I know that people, I don't know, on TikTok and whatever, like there's always videos that are like, how is she so popular? And they're like making fun of the way that she sounds or her voice or that she's a Nepo baby or whatever. But I truly just think that her writing is absolutely beautiful, and seeing her live even more put into perspective how talented she is. I thought she sounded absolutely amazing. Even like the videos of the concert didn't quite do it justice. Her visuals are some of my favorite visuals that I have ever seen. I loved her stage setup and everything. And I love the Greek. I love the Greek so much. It was my favorite venue in LA and I had a fabulous time. Then in the fall, I went to my favorite show of all time. This was Bleachers at the Greek. I really liked Bleachers for a little while now. I'm a huge fan of Jack Antonoff and all of the beautiful, amazing work that he's given us through Taylor Swift. But I really started obsessing over Bleachers when I listened to their live album from Radio City Music Hall. I'm not a live album or live song person. As much as I love concerts, I don't like hearing the crowds in the background. I feel like the audio is never quite there and it just always feels distracting from the song, and I would rather just listen to the studio cut of it. However, this album for some reason really seemed to capture an energy that they had. I mean, I listened to it on absolute repeat the entire year. And so when they put out info on their new tour, I was like, okay, I have to go after I've been obsessing over this live album. First night, they were only gonna do one night at the Greek. Sold out immediately. I had a pre-sale code, didn't do me shit. Like, it sold out immediately. So they put out a second night, and so I immediately bought Pit General Admission. And it was honestly one of the best decisions I have ever made. This show, I have never seen a show with so much energy. I do not understand how they do this, you know, multiple nights a week for months on end, because they just seem to be giving it absolutely everything that they had. They're running around nonstop. There's so many different instruments, so many different types of instruments. They're all playing over each other. Jack is jumping and running and doing splits and doing all this stuff, and it just was amazing. Katie and I discussed recently how for a concert to be perfect, there are so many aspects, so many different things that have to go right. It's not just like whether the band you're watching does well, or if they play the songs that you wanted them to, or if you enjoy the venue, but there's also the people around you, the people that you came with, the outfit that you're wearing, and whether or not you feel confident and good that night and you don't have anxiety. Like, there's just like so many different things. The weather, the visuals, whether your tummy is upset. There's so many things that could go wrong. And this night, truly, every single thing was perfect. I went by myself. I felt really cute. Everybody in the pit felt the exact same. Everyone jumped the entire show and was singing our hearts out, and I just had the most magical time. And this is truly the best concert that I have ever been to. Last but absolutely not least, I saw Billie Eilish at Madison Square Garden with Summer and my dad for her birthday. The last couple of years, the three of us have really tried to go to different venues that we were excited about, and Madison Square Garden was kind of the last like really big one that I hadn't been to yet, and it was wonderful. I felt like there wouldn't have been a bad seat in the place. I really liked this last album, but of course for Summer, Billie Eilish is her Taylor Swift. She means everything to her, and so while I absolutely would enjoy the shows on my own, getting to see her enjoy it means everything to me. The visuals were fun, the stage was really cool. Billie's presence on stage is not something that I feel like I've really experienced before. She just is a different kind of performer than other people that I usually see, and I had a wonderful time. So those are the 6 concerts that I went to in 2024. A little bit of a smaller year for me, but some absolutely amazing shows, including one that will absolutely go down in history for me. So I'm very, very thankful that I got to go to all of them. And here's another video from Bleachers because you want it.